Hi everyone, my name is Samantha Monica, and now I will tell you a story called Cinderella. Once upon a time, there lived a sweet tempered girl whose name was Cinderella. Unfortunately, her mother died young and her father married again. His second wife had a sharp temper, and her two daughters were just like her. In a word, horrid. The horrid sister loved to boss Cinderella. The first said, "Cinders, it's your job to clean the fireplace. That's why you're called Cinders. Get it?" And before she had finished sweeping the grate, the second sister said, "Cinders, don't dawdle. Light up the fire and make me a hot bath with sweet smelling candles." And as she was heating the bath, the horrid mother said, "Cinders, why haven't you been to the market yet?" All day long, Cinderella swept and scrubbed and fetched and carried. In winter, the young ladies were invited to the royal ball. For a whole month, they tried on taffeta ball gowns, frilly petticoats, and sharp, strappy shoes. It was Cinderella, of course, who helped them in and out of their rich costumes, and who pressed and folded everything. Her own clothes were particularly rags. The big night came, and poor Cinderella was left at home, standing alone by the window. A mouse came up to her and said, "Dear, dear, don't fret. A good fairy godmother is outside, and she says that you shall go to the ball." "You called?" said the fairy. "Did I? Who are you?" "Why, your fairy godmother, of course. I know your wish, and I have come to grant it." "But," said Cinderella, "my wish is impossible." "Excuse me," said the fairy godmother in a huff. "Did I not just show up out of thin air?" "Yes, you did," said Cinderella. "Then let me be the one to say what is possible or not." "Well, I think you know I want to go to the ball too." She looked down at her dirty clothes. "But look at me. You do look like a bit of a mess, child," said the fairy godmother. "Even if I had something nice to wear," said the girl, "I would have no way to get there." "Dear me, all of that is possible," said the fairy. With that, she tapped her wand on Cinderella's head. At once, Cinderella was all clean. She dressed in a beautiful blue gown. Her hair was set up high on her head inside a blue band. "This is wonderful," said Cinderella. "Who said I was done?" said the fairy godmother. She tapped her wand again, and a beautiful carriage came to be, with a driver and 4 white horses. Time passed. Cinderella arrived at the ball. "Look," someone pointed to the front door. "Who is that?" All heads turned. Who was that lovely maiden stepping down the hall? She held her head tall and looked as if she belonged. But no one knew her. "There's something about her," said the prince to himself. "I will ask her to dance." And he walked over to Cinderella. "Have we met?" said the prince. "I am pleased to meet you now," said Cinderella with a bow. "I feel as I know you," said the prince. "But of course, that is impossible." "Many things are possible," said Cinderella, "if you wish them to be true." The prince felt a leap in his heart. He and Cinderella danced. When the song was over, they danced again. Soon the other maidens at the ball grew jealous. "Why is he dancing all the time with her?" said them. "How rude." But all the prince could see was Cinderella. They laughed and talked, and they danced some more. In fact, they danced for so long that Cinderella did not see the clock. She looked up. "Oh my," she cried out, "it's almost midnight." "Dong," rang the clock. "Why does that matter?" said the prince. "Dong," called the clock. "I must go," said Cinderella. Dong went the clock. "But we just met," said the prince. "Why leave now?" Dong rang the clock. "Please wait a moment," said the prince. Dong rang the clock. Goodbye. Cinderella turned one last time. Then she rushed out of the door. Dong! The clock was quiet. It was midnight. He picked up her glass slipper and rushed out the door. He looked around but could not see her in a blue dress anywhere. This is all I have left from her, he said. Looking down at the glass slipper, he saw that it was made with a very special way, to fit a foot like none other. Somewhere there is the other glass slipper, he said. And when I find it, I will find her too, and I will ask her to be my bride. In the morning, the prince found the lost slipper and ordered his servants to take it up and down the land until they discovered the foot that exactly fitted it. When the prince's servants came to the house where Cinderella lived, her horrid sisters were eager to try on the slipper. "It fits me perfectly," said the first, but she could not shove her heel inside. "You can call me your Royal Highness, because my foot fits better," said the second. But it was clear that her foot was even less able to slip into the slipper. The royal servant looked up and saw Cinderella sitting by the fireplace that she had been cleaning. There was a bit of soot on her nose, and it made her face the more charming. He said, "Would you care to try them on, miss?" "Why bother with her? She's just a maid," said the horrid sister's mother. "I would like to try, thank you," said Cinderella. Her foot slipped in perfectly. "Who would have thought it? Our quest is complete," declared the royal servant. "What?" exclaimed the mother. "You've got to be kidding." "You idiot! You've got the wrong girl," protested the horrid girls. But the servant was already calling for the coachman to take Cinderella to the palace, dressed in her rags, exactly as she was, and wearing her normal shoe on one foot and her dancing slipper on the other. As Cinderella left the house, the mother of the horrid sister cried out, "Good riddance! We've had enough of your cheek." But Cinderella knew that she had found true love, and the very next day she and the prince were wed, and the bells rang out all over the land. They lived happily ever after.